forced it on everybody I know, and everybody liked it.
We really want to help everyone achieve the American dream.
We actually do something that people might not believe is doable.
I would promise and I would like to give that blessing tenfold to others.
And we were fortunate enough to make it through the audition process to get onto the show Shark Tank.
And this is really the first time in the history of mankind that we've been able to do this.
It has the added benefit of being true.
We're from San Diego, and the insects out there are nothing like the insects here in Florida. My husband and I had a daughter. She was 6 months old at the time. One bite would turn into a golf ball sized well, and I was finding myself literally in the doctor's office every single week.
I started a raised garden bed, and I wasn't doing so well at it. So I ended up converting my garage into a hydroponic grow room. Brad and I ended up being able to feed pretty much the entire neighborhood. What I really wanted to do was to bring production to the point of consumption while developing the Earth's most sustainable farming system.
So we enable entrepreneurs to own a business. We're a manufacturer of ice and water vending machines. As an ice maker on board, creates ice that is vended either into a cooler for the customer that approaches the machine or into a plastic bag. So it's a piece of equipment, in essence, a business in a box. We sell entrepreneurship. This is one of the easiest businesses you could possibly get into. You make an investment, you connect the machine to power, water, and a drain, and you're in business. And this is a business that you don't have to quit your day job to do.
Liberty Landscape Supply is first and foremost a supplier of landscape materials. And that again means the core stuff that you need in order to make a project successful. Gravel, sand, dirt, trees, plants, sod, pottery. Then we offer design as a complimentary service at no charge, and then we offer installation services as well.
The Diversified Material Specialist Inc. or DMSI manufacture high-tech fiber optic connectivity products. About 85% of our business is government contracting, and then the rest of that is commercial.
When we're first born, we have this infinite capacity to regenerate tissue, which we progressively lose as we age. But at Neobiosis, what we've been able to do is tap into that ability and transplant that young ability to heal to the old individual. This industry is often mislabeled as a stem cell industry. This is regenerative medicine. So we sort of trick the body into thinking that it's young again, and it starts repairing and regenerating like it did when it was younger. We are all subject to the process of aging. So this is something for absolutely everybody. And we want to be at the forefront of that. That's our goal.
This is an EnviroFuel Cube. This is the fuel that we manufacture, and it is able to replace coal, not simply substitute for it, but truly replace it on a one-to-one basis. An EnviroFuel Cube made only of cardboard, wood, paper, and plastic that otherwise would have been destined for a landfill.
We're producing as much lettuce, herbs, microgreens, and leafy greens as a 70-acre farm, and we're doing it on 12,000 square feet. Inside the farm container, we have over 120 different sensors that are taking data readings every 60 seconds. We have the most productive containers in the industry, and we're growing between 13 and 15,000 pounds of produce every month. We look small, but we are a commercial-sized farming operation. We're changing the industry. And everybody's always got to eat.
The Space Coast is just rife with talent. This is where the technology is happening for the next couple of decades. Fundamentally, we design, manufacture, and service products for the airborne in-flight entertainment and communication industry and the small sat RF payload industry. Almost exclusively, our business comes from word of mouth and repeat business.
So Bug Bite Thing removes insect saliva and venom from bug bites and stings. So you stop producing the reactions that cause all those symptoms like the itching, stinging, and swelling. I had sold my house to buy my first batch of inventory to try to start this. And I sold out of all of my inventory that I sold my house for within a week. Shark Tank is really authentic. They do a lot of vetting beforehand through the entrepreneurs, but the sharks know nothing about your company. All the sharks made offers, then they started teaming up with each other, and then Lori Grenier offered us her golden ticket, which she gives out one per season.
What we are is fully integrated, state-of-the-art manufacturing facility, manufacturing natural products from capsules, tablets, liquids, creams, powders, and gummies for the end consumer, and we also are a contract manufacturing facility. We have capabilities of doing 5 million capsules per shift. Right now, we're currently manufacturing about 1 million gummies a day. I feel 100% sure that every product that we manufacture, it is what it says it is. And everyone contributes to a little piece of the puzzle that at the end, they make something great. For us, everyone has a seat at the table, and that's what makes it special.
The story of Ponce de Leon was that he came to Florida to search for the Fountain of Youth, and we had an article written about us recently where we're sort of like on the modern trail of Ponce de Leon. We're in Florida again, and we're on the trail of the Fountain of Youth.
At TechFit, we provide custom solutions for orthopedic and maxillofacial patients by use of 3D printing. We take the patient's CT scan, we convert it into a 3D model of the patient, we use our software to interact with the doctor to find the best course of treatment, and then we custom manufacture the perfect solution for each patient.
Full service, end-to-end solar developer and construction company for the residential and commercial markets.
Me not knowing anything about business or food or anything, decided to start a tea company. I worked in law enforcement for more than a decade, which sucked, but I've always been a plant nerd. All the things that we make are centered around an indigenous plant species called the Yopan holly, which is the only caffeinated plant native to the United States. The leaves are brought into our shop, put out on a withering rack. After the leaves are dried, they're brought into a de-sticking room. All the debris that's not desirable is taken out. After that, they're put into a hammer mill, and the leaves are ground up into a uniform size. From there, most of our product ends up in a tea bag machine. It's hard to dethrone a $20 billion industry, but we are trying to disrupt it.
We're going to get a product of theirs into market in about 4 months. That's just unheard of in the aviation industry. So we really pride ourselves in that ability to canonically understand the trade spaces, fundamentally understand the design, and then be able to crisply execute and prosecute that.
The price point is dramatic. So say they buy those bags of ice between $1 and $2, that's their actual cost. Well, the cost, if you own one of our machines, it's only 15 to 20 cents. It's massive. From an operator standpoint, it's a win. From a customer's perspective, it's the product is better because it's fresh, right?
With all the trials ongoing using amniotic fluid, there have been basically no adverse events. But what's amazing about amniotic fluid is that it's universal. We don't need to type. It can be used for any patients for pretty much any indication.
An extra 25% of our workforce is dedicated just to the quality of the product. We go above and beyond with heavy metal testing in all of our products. That's not required by the FDA.
I can't promise you that we're ever going to be inexpensive in terms of fuel. I promise we'll never be quite as expensive as coal. His eyes almost fell out of his head. He's like, what? Well, I should hope so. I'm like, really? You should hope so? Well, I don't know why, because my fuel has 1/60th the mercury, it's 1/60th the sulfur, 1/13th the lead, 1/174th the arsenic. The carbon is 85% biogenic, so you will be able to claim 85% carbon neutrality with the regulatory authorities when they start to institute carbon emission fines like they do in Europe and Canada right now today. I think our fuel is actually probably worth more than coal, but I just promised you, I'll always charge you less.
All of our raw material is certified organic.
You're spending sometimes upwards of $100,000, $200,000 over 20, 30 years to keep your lights on, and you have nothing to show for it. Solar, the opposite, you're paying about a quarter of that, you have a fixed monthly payment, and you add value to your home. What is your ROI by staying with the utility?
We're #1 vitamin company supplement in Puerto Rico, and then Central America and in the US, we're just getting started.
So in 2016, we had two employees, and then today, we have 55 employees. Over the last 3 years, 850% growth.
In revenue.
We're actually looking for a land to build to triple or double the size of what we are now.
We were over 15.1 million last year, and we're expecting close to 23 million in 2023.
I envision 2 more plants operating in Florida within 30 months of right now.
We've sold over 4 million bug bite thing units to date.
Fun fact, less than 1% of roofs in the state of Florida have solar on it.
End of 21, we were at 3 million in sales. 22, we're doing just short of 20 million. Projections for next year are just north of 40 million.
Then in 22, we did a little over 2 million in revenue. And in the next few years, we are hoping to reach the 10 million mark.
Morgan Freeman and his family are from the Delta. We came to him and his team with this idea, and they decided to invest and become partners.
So consumers are driving everything for us. They asked us for a travel bag to keep them clean and secure. So we've offered a line of trendy bags, and now we also offer a corporate gifting version.
Yes, it's had a bad reputation in the beginning when you had a lot of stem cell salesmen and a lot of misinformation. But now we've really evolved past that.
The prices of raw materials, the availability of raw materials has been greatly hampered, especially because a large percentage of the world's titanium comes from Russia.
58 weeks away from having the one chip to drop in there to finish that card. It has been choking us out, so we're trying to figure out other ways to get there and use other technologies to ameliorate the risk to that one part.
I think that growth is actually the main obstacle.
People and capital, those are the toughest things.
Don't heat that pool that we spent all that money for because we're scared of what it's going to cost us to heat it, so let's just sit there and look at it, you know? Solar quells that fear.
Brick Street Farms has a 501c3, Desert Farms Foundation, which is our sister nonprofit that provides fresh produce to food deserts. And we're servicing every community around us, not just those that can afford to pay for it at the grocery store.
They're going through something critical like cancer treatments, and they can't use certain products, and our product has been their life-saving effort.
We don't forget about the production of the business, but we don't do that at the expense of these people that have committed their lives to helping us build this thing.
We established a program called DMSI Care. It is the heart of our company. Part of our profit we give to DMSI Care to help not only our employees, but also those people that are in depressed and less fortunate one, like in the Philippines. And we do mission trips. We actually do it 4 in a year. So we have medical mission, dental mission. We give school supply. We give food to the poor, medicine to the sick.
We had a firework incident recently where we donated some product, and the tissue, the legs of the patient was so incredibly burned that the physician thought the recovery would take 2 to 3 months and extensive skin grafting. But just by spraying the amniotic fluid over the surface, we actually accelerated that to 6 days. And she went from a 10 out of 10 pain to a 2 out of 10 pain almost immediately.
They're not polluting because they want to be bad guys. They're polluting because they're doing something for society, manufacturing a product that we need, be it electricity or cement. But they themselves understand that they want to, and society wants them to, be aware of everything they can do to encapsulate and shrink their environmental impact in the world today. We offer them the opportunity to do just that.
As we began manufacturing, your typical vitamins and minerals, my sister began giving that to my nephew. So we began and we saw that it really, really helped and really made a difference in my nephew's life. So today, he's 20 years old. He's helping me here in the manufacturing facility, and he's a champion and a cheerleader for making products for this disease.
We are all convinced that we are making a future impact, a good impact in the world, that we are leaving a legacy behind with the people that we help.
So over 80% of the lettuce in the state of Florida comes from Southern California. That's traveling quite a long way. We're really hoping to change that.
We employ people with all sorts of criminal backgrounds, educational backgrounds, abilities. We don't discriminate. I receive praise very awkwardly.
It's a big deal.
I like to think it's more of a recognition of what you have an opportunity to do in the future and where you're headed. I think it's really exciting. There's a little bit of pressure. We as a company have made it this far, but we're expected to do more.
It's things like this that can kind of fill your soul up again and help you keep going.
You just feel like you want to come up for air, you know? And this sort of forces you to realize that the effort does pay off.
I feel like being part of the whole GrowFL network is really a dynamizer for our business.
It's an embarrassment of riches. We're very, very grateful.
So I would like to thank GrowFL, the nominating committee.
First, thank God for the opportunity. Without my faith, I will not be grounded.
The families of all my staff.
Dan.
Dang it, now I have to thank Ben, like automatically.
I should be thanking my parents. They have been just absolutely incredible supporters throughout my business career.
To all of those who are aware of what we do and have supported it.
Yeah, and then GrowFL.
Suck it up just a little bit more, push a little bit harder, and surround yourself with people that you love and respect. And talk to a therapist.
Take challenges as a gift.
So no matter what you do, one step forward is better than doing nothing at all.
If you put your team first, that's the best start.
Best entrepreneurs, at least that I read about, all have stories of mistakes that they've made and failures that they've experienced and how they turn those around into learning lessons and then later propelled their career forward.
Stick to your guns. It's going to be tempting at times to take shortcuts, but a shortcut is never the right way to get to your destination. It's really important to avoid the temptation of just being financially successful.
And if God put it in your heart, I believe to fight for it to the end. Like, never forget your purpose.
Do not forget, courage is not from any absence of fear. Strength is not from any absence of challenges. You will break, people break, but you come back and you piece yourself together, you will come back strong.
You just have to have a really bitchin' work ethic and sort of that too dumb to quit mentality and a great idea. I think those are the only three things you need.